Alrighty folks, let's do this! Welcome back everybody to Adobe Live. My name is VooDoo Val. I'm going to be your host yet again this morning for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, and I'm so pumped to dive into what I have planned today. Welcome, welcome. I see so many people in the chat. I see Anki, welcome back my friend. Welcome back Muriel and Nourish. Hello Ken. I see Andreas, Odari, Clarissa, Judith, Robert, Sam Peterson, the one and only. It's good to see all of you folks. If you'd like to chat with me and hang out with the rest of the folks who are here in the chat today, please come over to behance.net because if you don't see any of the people I'm greeting in the chat, you're probably on YouTube and wondering who the heck I'm talking to. But we have a party happening over on Behance, so come over here. We will get a link posted for you. Felix, Laura, Dina, it's good to see you. Alejandro, hello. I'm pumped for today. This is going to be great. This is challenge number 4 of 5, and I'm excited to kind of dive in it and get you guys up to speed on all of the different things I wanted to go over this week, because tomorrow is going to be like a combination challenge. So we are going to combine some new things with some of the techniques and elements that we've been working on for the last few days, and combine it into one big project, which I'm pumped about. It's going to be pretty cool. Adari, hello. Mayor, welcome. Clever Dedwin, good to see you. Chris Olson, welcome back. Megan, hello. Colleen, hello. Aji, welcome. Ted, hi. Good to see all of you folks this morning. Okay, so today we're going to be working with text. I'm going to go over some really cool tips and tricks on how to alter text, how to change text up and make it a little more interesting versus the standard just clicking with your text tool and just throwing text anywhere. We're going to get into some cool stuff. I'm also going to show you some tips and techniques for how I personally love to make text look interesting, some things you've probably seen in past projects of mine and all that good stuff. But before we dive into it, I'm going to show you folks how you can get involved. If you are new here today and you haven't done any of the challenges, you can come over to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. This is our landing page for Photoshop where you can get all of the information that you need to know about it. You can hit this big blue button if you haven't already and register. You'll get a 1 through 4 basically of how the challenges work, and then you'll see that every day so far we've had a challenge unlocked to you. Now, one thing I want to mention is earlier when I spoke about how we're getting through the last technique challenge today before tomorrow we jump into combining a lot of things. If you are new today and you have not been following the challenges, either because you've just found us, welcome newcomers, or because you haven't had the time, you know, everybody's life is different and not all of us can attend every morning and do the work consistently every day, that is totally fine. Because you can actually come here to the challenges that you have not completed yet, and you can hit the Get Started button under any of these, just like you can hit Get Started for today's challenge. Download the starter file and you will have a bunch of finished assets in those challenge starter files for you to use today and also for you to use tomorrow. And tomorrow's starter file will have even more assets that I have created. So if you didn't get to spend time working on the past 4 challenges, including today's, tomorrow if you show up to do the challenge, you will have all of the assets I've made. So you can jump right in to combining things without being required to do all of the challenges first. Today you'll see, as I said, play with fonts to create custom spooky text, which I'm very excited about. Hit the Get Started button if you can't finish the video today, you can't finish the live, or you need a little refresher while you're working on your project, feel free to click Watch Video. And then you can also join the Discord. So if you go to bit.ly/PS Discord, you can jump into the challenge area of the Photoshop Discord. You want to make sure to capitalize that P and S, otherwise you will go to the wrong place. And I need to post more in the Discord for this round because I have some things that I'd like to share with you. So if you folks are waiting for any answers from me for challenge entries, please feel free to tag because I'm going to jump in there right after the challenge today, and I'm going to share some cool stuff with you. I'm going to share some tips and tricks just in case any of you have had any trouble, and I'm pretty excited about it. So yes, feel free to tag me. I'm going to pop over here and show you what that looks like so that you can kind of familiarize yourself This is where everybody's posting all of their entries. So we have all of these super cool textures that people have been making for the challenges. I love this so much. By the way, I love the spooky ghosty shape that we've got going on here. This was from Talishos or Alejandro. I hope I said that correctly. But we've been making textures. We've been making, gosh, look at this brush. This is amazing, CK, well done. We've been making textures. We've been doing some cool patterns and making brushes, making things that look like oil and slime and sludge, and doing some really interesting things, messing with the mixer brush. And gosh, look at this exploration here. This is some cool texture. You guys are killing it. I'm so proud of you. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, so jump in here, check out what people have been doing. I also have posted a bunch of assets in here as well, so if you want to download some new assets that I've just thrown in for you guys to have, go ahead and do it. But yes, this is where you can post. You just head over to the Discord, jump into the challenge tab, and you will get the assets, make some new friends, chit chat with me today, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. But without further ado, let's jump into the challenge because I want to make sure we have time to cover everything. So let me pull up my Photoshop. If you hit that Get Started button on our landing page, you will see a file that looks like this. So it says challenge number 4, learn to activate and alter fonts, adjust spacing, change direction, type on a path, and dive into making text look 3D or illustrated. If you don't have the character styles panel open it by going to Window, and Character, access the Create Warped Text panel located in the top right of your screen. So we're gonna go through all of this stuff, which sounds like a lot, but I think we can get through it. So, because I just want you guys to be able to dive into some cool text, because we're gonna combine so many things tomorrow, and since we've been working kind of with an impromptu spooky theme, I feel like we need some wild text, okay? So, the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to activate a font. And I'm going to pull up Adobe Fonts because I know a lot of you have probably adventured to fonts.adobe.com before, but I still see a lot of people who are a little unfamiliar with it and how it works and how easy it is to snag a new font. So I'd like to show you right quick. So I'm going to pull this up over here. If you go to fonts.adobe.com, this is the page that you will come to, and there's a lot of really excellent ways to actually not only activate fonts, but find fonts, how to learn how to pair fonts together, which I don't know about you, but that can be really daunting for me sometimes. And I love making use of this resource. So I'm going to pop myself over here to the other side of the screen real quick because I don't want to block anything important. And you'll come to this home page where you can just type in whatever you want. You can search by image here if you want to. If you find an image of a cool font or something, you can search by image. You can just go ahead and browse all of the fonts. You can type in a keyword. There's a really awesome Get Started with Adobe Fonts section here where you can see some featured fonts and go ahead and just activate those, which is pretty cool. I really love this Centennial American History font. This is Desire Pro is actually really, really cool. I love this. This is very, oh gosh, that's actually really beautiful. This is very like Christmas Carol and like prestigious old-timey America kind of font, and I think it's really, really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna close this little pop-up I have here. So you can do that, you can noodle around on the front page, but one of the things I like to do is go into all fonts, because if you are more of a visual kind of searcher, this is a really great way to check out fonts when you maybe are less familiar with the types of fonts there are. It took me some time to understand the difference between serif and sans serif and all of these techniques and ways to classify fonts, and I'm still kind of unfamiliar about things, but Adobe Fonts makes it really easy for people who are less familiar with that sort of thing to come in and search by what they can see, what they can feel, what they can infer about something visually. So I could go to brush pen and it'll give me all of the, like, this is a really beautiful font right here, Calgary script. That's gorgeous. I could come in and also put hand on here, so it looks, I just want ones that look like they're handwritten. I could say I only want really thick weight kind of fonts here, and it'll just start narrowing it down for me. So this is really great. I do, however, want to turn these off so I can get back to my Calgary script, and I don't think I'm going to use this today, but just looking at it, I love what this looks like, and so I'm going to activate it for myself. And it's so easy to do so. As long as you are logged into your Creative Cloud, just hit Activate Font. It lets you know that it's activated, and then it's already available for me in Photoshop right now. So if you want to take some time, go grab a font that's really cool, and if you need some help with pairing fonts, head over to font packs, because if you head to font packs, you can see all these pre-made font packs of these wonderful fonts that look really great together. So you can just check them out, say, you know what, I actually do like these two, and this is maybe some illustrations or some pieces that look like something I'm doing. Maybe I'll use the fonts that they paired together and get a little more familiar that way. So go ahead and check that out. It's kind of a lifesaver. It's been a lifesaver for me. This is one of the very few fonts that I actually purchase, and it's gorgeous. I love the font. I love it. Let me scroll through here. I feel like I lost my feeling on perspective. Sometimes, like just with choosing, like having a perspective on choosing fonts, is that what you mean? Because I feel that way too, but this really helps me. So once you have any fonts together that you really like, you can jump into Photoshop, which I'm going to pull up, and you will see that it is there. Maybe we'll choose just one more. I have Lust already. This is one of my favorite ones. If you haven't, I think I got Lust from someplace else, but I'm going to go ahead and activate it here. Lust is one of my favorite. Paul Tranny showed this off on a stream one time, and it's one of my favorite fonts. So you should check that out. Maybe we will grab one more. I'm going to grab this one, the Chuck Regular. I'm going to view this. Oh, and this one's active. This one's active. I'm going to just go ahead and reactivate it because I want to make sure that I have that. Okay, I'm going to pull up Photoshop. And I'm going to come in, and you'll see in our elements this time it's just some text. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide that. I'm going to hide the info, and we are going to dive in. So I said that if you don't see your character styles panel, which is what we're going to work in today, that you can go to Window, and you can go to Character Styles. You can also go to Character. Let me go to Window here, go to Character. Character, the Character panel, not Character Styles panel, is what we're going to be working in. And this will allow you to alter a lot of different text. So there's a couple ways that you can get text down on your canvas. Number one, you can just click, just go ahead and tap and then type something out. I'm going to write spooky, scary, and it is coming in very small, but that's okay because I'm just gonna go ahead and free transform and just drag it out like this. And I'm also going to change the color. So I'm gonna come back to my character styles here. I wonder why that is kind of showing up, because it should be. Let me see, hold on. Let me see if I can change. I wonder why that's not showing up for me. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let me drag out. We're going to try a different method here. There we go. Okay. We're going to I'll show you this method first because I had trouble kind of viewing that there. So you can actually click and drag out a text box with your type tool, which is just T on your keyboard, and it will actually give you a bounding box where you can put paragraphs and paragraphs of text. And while there are paragraphs of text in here, if I Control or Command C to copy this, and then Control or Command V to just duplicate this, I can actually come in here without free transforming, and I can alter what this looks like, how the text actually fits into the bounding box, and all of that good stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter it. So I'm going to go ahead and just double click everything, come over here to my character styles, and what I can do is I can change the spacing between the different lines here. I can change the spacing and distance between all of the different characters, so I can make them very, very close together, or I can make them very, very far apart, whichever I think is appropriate. We'll leave it at 0 so everything is nice and coherent. You could come in and really make things larger or smaller here and change the type size this way. You could come in and change the distance, the warping between the different widths and heights of all of your text. You really, like right here, I can just like stretch it out if I want. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if it works with your project, go for it. So there's a lot of really cool things right in here that you can mess with, that you can explore right off the bat just to get a little more familiar with things. I highly recommend you kind of jump in here and just see what you can do. You can also decide if you want the whole entire body of text offset or not from where you've placed it. And it depends on your project. So I'm gonna actually, we're going to kind of set this aside. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this because I now want to see. There we go. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. Probably user error on my part, but I just wanted to also be able to click. So if we click, we can add some text in here, and then I can resize this up and I can do some interesting stuff with that. I'd like to retype in here spooky, scary, because we're gonna spice this up. All right, spooky, scary. And what I want to do with this is I want to change it to kind of more of a bubbly font. This is Thunder that I'm using right now. But what was that font actually that we just activated? I think it was Chuck. Yeah, Chuck. So let's go to my C's here, and let's change this to Chuck, shall we? Oops, I didn't highlight all of this. I want to make sure that this is all Chuck. Also, something that's really cool is all of the fonts that you just used recently will come up at the very top, so you don't have to hunt for them again. So I can just go to the top and I've got Chuck waiting for me right here. Now, what I would like to do to kind of alter this is I'm going to highlight scary, not spooky, just highlight scary. And I'm going to change the distance between these. I'm going to put 100, I'm put it at 100, and then I'm going to select scary or spooky, and I don't know 100% if this is going to work the way I want to with this font, but we're going to try it. Just kind of bump that in together, and I don't know if that looks perfect, but we're not going to be super precious with this. I just want to kind of bump that in and bump scary out. Let's see, you can also type in whatever you want. You do not have to go with what Photoshop gives you here. I can type in 150, even though that's not available to me, and do it like this. That's what I'm gonna do. And so the first thing I'm gonna show you as far as warping text without the character styles is how to jump into the warp text panel, as I mentioned in the instructions. And your warp text panel is actually this little T with the little hill, little curved line underneath it. And I'm just gonna click that and show you the cool things you can do in here. So you can go into style, and I think I'm gonna do wave here. There we go. So it kind of keeps our little brick of text here and starts to alter them with like this nice little wave in the center there. And we can actually bend it however we want. We can change that bend and really make it super dramatic. If we want to, we can make it super dramatic in the other direction. If we want to, we can actually change the horizontal and vertical distortion. So if we want it really off to one side or really off to the other side, or we want them both super dramatic, we can do that. So jump in here and check out what can be done that way. You can also change it from vertical to horizontal and back and forth. And I don't know why you would do that right there, but it's, you know, just jump in and kind of familiarize yourself because it's a fun time. You can do plenty of different things in the warp text panel. There's you can arc everything. You can do an arc lower, which is interesting. Let me kind of bump this back so that this is all the same here. We could do a fisheye. I don't typically use fisheye, but it's something that is fun. But you know, jump in here and kind of figure out what works best for you. Okay. And then another thing I'd like to show is type on a path. So if you ever seen people create interesting text effects where their text was placed perfectly along some kind of shape, that is done with text on a path or type on a path. So I'm going to jump in and kind of show you how that works as well. And in fact, I'm actually going to leave our wave on here because I actually really like the wave. I do. I think that this is kind of cute. So I'm going to leave our wave here, and I might even free transform this and make it smaller because maybe we will put a circle of text around this. And I'm going to come over and grab a shape tool. I'm going to grab my ellipse because this is an easier way to do this, especially if you are a first-time type on a pather. I don't know if that is the correct term for us folks who type on a path, but that's what I'm going to say. And I'm just going to go ahead and place a circle around here. I'm going to turn the fill off so there's no fill and there's no stroke. And what I'm going to do is I am going to hit T on my keyboard, and if I hover over my shape here, you will see that my type text tool changes. So I can type here, I can just tap, and look, it just places some lorem ipsum there for me, and I can come in and I can alter how this looks. I can come back and I can edit. If I click off of it, I can come in and kind of alter how this fits in itself and move it around, so I can throw some type on there. I can also change this and I can do a different shape. I do not have to work with a circle. I can work with any shape. In fact, I could grab the pen tool if I wanted to, and I'm kind of looking at time. We do have a few minutes, so I'm gonna just try to combine as many of these things in here as I can. I could grab the pen tool if I want. I'm gonna press P on my keyboard, and I'm gonna go ahead and just make myself kind of a curvy, strange line here at the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna just go like this. Did that connect everything? I think so. Okay. And on another layer, I can grab my text tool again, and I could type on that strange curve if I wanted to, if I felt like that was going to give me a kind of effect that I really wanted for my project. If that's what I want, that's what I can do, and I can transform and I can alter that shape I made with the pen tool, and the text will follow it. And then one last thing, so we've done how to activate fonts, we've done how to warp fonts with the warp text panel, we've gone through different things that you can do in the characters panel so that you guys can kind of get in and alter things. We've typed on a path, done different paths so you folks know that there's all different kinds of capabilities. And now one of the things that I would like to show off is how I like to kind of just add a little bit of oomph to text. And so one of the things I like to do is I like to use a clipping mask to throw a texture onto my text, and that is a lot of fun, especially since we have a lot of textures. If you don't have any textures because you didn't do any of the previous challenges, download the starter files and you will have this texture in the starter files. And I can come in here and put this texture on top of my spooky scary, right click and throw it on a clipping mask so that I have spooky scary in some spooky texture if I want. And I'm just gonna paint bucket in some light green here just so I can see this better. I would never use this exact combination of colors, by the way. I just am trying to make it so that you can maybe see this a little bit better right now. But you can throw some textures on it, and then yeah, I think that's I tried to just cram as many tips and techniques as possible to help you folks get familiar with different things that you can do with text. And there's still probably so many more things, but I encourage you all to experiment with creating a lockup that could be the centerpiece of a spooky promo for this Halloween season, because tomorrow we're going to combine working with text, the mixer brush, creating textures, using gradient maps, and we're going to combine it into creating a promo so all of you have a spooky season promo to share on your social media. And we're gonna animate it, because I would be remiss if I didn't show you how to animate something. Well, yeah, I'm trying to, I wanted to make sure I gave you as much information as I could. I can't wait to see what kind of lockups and things you create with these new techniques. And I want to see what fonts you choose on Adobe Fonts. And I would love if you folks would share some fonts with friends in the Discord as well. So thank you all so much for joining me. I can't wait for tomorrow. This is going to be so much fun. I will see you folks later today, modding, and tomorrow morning for another challenge. Adios, everyone, and happy designing.